Hey friends, it's Hayden here from Top Dog, and it's day 10 of Top Dogtober, where we bring you an 11 plus video guide every single day of October. Have you watched them all so far? Or maybe just my ones? I'd understand. Anyway, you know the drill now. Before I jump into this spatial reasoning lesson, which I'm looking forward to by the way, I've got to tell you about our 11 plus preparation resources. Parents, if you're listening, head over to our website, www.topdogonline.co.uk, and check it out, because every single week you will get an English, verbal reasoning, maths and non-verbal reasoning premium video lesson for your child to watch. You can also download our homework tasks, which go with each of the lessons to allow some more independent practice. And if they're finding it a bit tricky and you're not sure how to explain it, then don't worry, because we've got video walkthroughs there to explain all of the questions that are in our task as well. Now, use the discount code VOTEHAYDEN to get yourself 15% off of our annual subscription price. You're buying the whole year, guys. You're buying 52 weeks worth of premium resources. That's 4 weeks, 4 lessons every single week, 208 videos across the year. It's a pretty good deal. I'm just going to say that right now. Okay, so if you're liking these lessons, check it out. It's a pinned comment below or in the description. It'll take you straight there. Now, on to this lesson. We're going to start with Dylan's question from yesterday. If you're tuning in to see the answer, then let's have a look right now. Did you get it right? The answer was D, because what was happening really interestingly was the first letter was going back by 2, then back by 1, then the third letter was just the same, then it went forward by 1 and forward by 2 on the alphabet. If we apply the same thing to the word large, then we get JZRHG. Well done, everybody. Now, today we're looking at a spatial reasoning type of question that we call puzzle pieces. Pretty obvious reason. You're given a complete figure on the left. Woohoo! We're happy with this one. And then you're given a piece of that figure, or pieces of that figure sometimes, on the right. And it's your job to find the other piece that, when placed there in this gap, would complete it back to look like the original shape. Now, there are 2 strategies to do these questions. I'm going to show you them both as we go through. The first one is as follows. Now, you look at the shape you're given, the cut up piece, and we draw back in the parts that take it back to the original shape. So it's a bit of drawing skills here. You got to keep an eye on angles. If that's a right angle, you've got to make sure you're drawing as close to a right angle as you can. Otherwise, it's going to look a bit wonky. And then what you do is you just go around the whole edge of that piece. Okay, I'm going to get rid of my right angle just to make it less confusing. And then if you want to, you can go ahead and shade it in to make it really clear, but you might be happy with this. And then all we're doing really is looking for that piece on the right-hand side. And you can quite often just use logic to do it. So for example, we know we have a right angle here, and then we've got a bigger angle here, and opposite that, we've got that kind of little curve there. So A is looking kind of cool, right? But also D's got that curve, but why can I get rid of D? Let's think about it. I can get rid of D because there's no other curved part inside of here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use deduction to actually get rid of all of these, all of the answers that are wrong, because they have features that don't exist. For example, look at this massive right angle chunk. That doesn't happen in here, so we can get rid of it. In C, great, we've got the curve, but we don't have the 1, 2, 3 other corners. We've got 2 other corners, and none of them are right angle. Gone. Okay, B is great, but it doesn't have the curve. Okay, gone. Do you see what I'm saying here, guys? So you draw it back in, use a bit of logical reasoning, deduction, you can get back to A. You might have just been able to see that A was the answer anyway. If we rotated that 90 degrees, it would fit perfectly in that chunk, which I suppose brings me to my last point. The answer could be rotated, which it has been there. Moving on to the second one, sometimes what's easier to do is not draw it back in, okay, but actually draw on the original shape and cut this piece out. So you basically just got to make the decision yourself as to what's going to be the easier thing, drawing it in here or cutting it out on this one. Now in this case, I think cutting out is going to be easier. I reckon I can replicate that shape really easily by putting a cut there and there, okay, nice and simple. And once again, I can cut out the other piece. I draw around the piece that I'm actually missing, which is this bit and this bit. So that's what I'm looking for now on the right hand side. So very similar to that first strategy, but we're just drawing on the other shape instead. You choose which one you think is going to be easier to do. Anyway, pause the video. What's the answer? So looking at this, I can see it's not going to be B or C because it just doesn't have that kind of little extra bit tagging on the corner like it does in A, D, and E. E's not right because I've got kind of 2 instances where it goes corner to corner. It's going to be D or A. So let's just use some logical reasoning. In D, it's connecting to the corner of this L, whereas in A, it's connecting to the bit in the middle. And I think in my figure, it quite clearly connects to the bit in the middle that branches out to two different sides, which it does in this one here. That's definitely the answer. Whereas this one branches out from here and here, but the shape isn't there. So quite easy to tell that the answer is A and not D. All right, so that's puzzle pieces. Let's do another one. This is a really good one. I love this question. I'm not going to say too much about it, but when you answer it, if you think you've got it, I also want you to tell me what the biggest trap answer is. Because remember, the 11 plus loves trap answers. What's the biggest trap in this one? Pause the video. Have a go. If you said that the biggest trap answer is C, you'd be absolutely correct. That is wrong. Okay, well, C is not the answer. It just looks so good. It just like that triangle would fit so nicely into that space. But we don't care if it looks good. We want it to look like the original shape. And the original shape did not have a big triangle block in the middle of it. It just didn't. So in this case, I think it's going to be easier for me to draw in the rest of the shape because I can just continue the straight lines until they meet. So I get that little bit there. So that piece is going to be important. Also, if I continue that little line there and that little line there, that's easy. I'm going to keep going down with this line as well. It doesn't quite reach the bottom, but that's what it looks like. Draw around what we want, and that precisely right there is what I'm looking for. A is wrong because it's in 3 pieces. Mine's in 2 pieces. B is wrong because of this top bit here. So if I turn this around 180 degrees, I'm not going to get that little weird looking piece at the top there. I want a more of a diamond shape. Again, with D, look, it's just not the right diamond shape that I'm looking for. Whereas E, if I just turn it a little bit this way, maybe like 45 degrees, it looks precisely like what I've just drawn. So well done, guys, if you managed to get that one. If you fell into my trap, then I'm sorry, but what that means is you have to use my discount code and you have to watch this video, I don't know, 6,000 times to get me 6 more votes against and higher than Dylan, because I don't want to do the forfeit at the end of this series. I don't like spicy stuff. Okay, it's your turn. Ultra hard mode, by the way. I had to add that in because it was a hard question. So what I recommend doing is if you can take a screenshot of this or something like that and print it out, that's amazing. If not, you might have to just draw it out yourself, have a little go with a bit of pen and paper as much as you can to help you. Or maybe you've got one of those cool screens where you can just like annotate on it. That would be cool. Maybe you can do that. I don't know. I'm waffling on now. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Make sure to check out the community tab. Maybe you could leave us a little comment. Maybe you could leave us a little comment in the video or anywhere else. Just saying, you know, Hayden rocks and Dylan's not so cool. And I'll see you in the next video.